Yo, what's going on out there, everybody? Thank you for coming back and checking your boy out right here on the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show. Big Game Christian Sports Network, man, live, loud, and in color. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on YouTube Live as well as Twitter. Man, Twitter is on fire. 6,000 of them is what we got as of tape time. So we thank you guys out there for rolling with us on that. To the dopest engineer in the galaxy, Big Day, what's going on, baseball fans? Hope you guys have enjoyed the first half of the year. And I hope that you also enjoyed the All Star Week festivities because just like this dude, let me tell you, it was all of this. Let's go. Nope, that ain't it. That is not it. I was trying to bring in the big homie, but here we go. Yeah. LA had LL was letting them know what it was, man, as he was talking about how bad he was. And speaking of bad, that is exactly what we are doing here. We are doing very bad things, but in a good way here on the hashtag Brothers Baseball Show. Just in case you missed it in the first segment, we had to give it up to the matriarch, Rachel Robinson. Of course, she is the widowed wife of, I don't know, is that a double negative or oxymoron or double superlative? Anyway, y'all know who she is. She's the widow of the late, great Jackie Robinson. Of course, everything that he did. She turned 100 years young, and it's just so fitting to me that in her 100th year of life, 75 years after her husband broke the color barrier, the game, the All Star weekend or All Star week festivities, all held at the same venue of the franchise where Jackie broke in at, where everything, as we know, is history. So, congratulations and happy birthday, Mrs. Robinson. Okay, before we move any further, this segment, second segment, it is being brought to you by us again. The Big Game Christian Sports Network, man, what are we doing? We're still celebrating 10 years of hottest sports talk in the cosmos, the galaxy, the world, the universe, the solar system. 10 years of debates, 10 years of opinions, 10 years of sports talk that's lit. Celebrating 10 years of just getting it done. We are the BGC Sports Network, aka the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Now, I'm going to tell a memory before we actually get to the All Star and Home Run Derby. I want to give a memory of during my time, during my 7 years, going on 7 years with the BGC Sports Network. It was 2000 and I want to say 19, 18, maybe 17, one of those years. But anyway, it was the year of the NBA draft, June of whatever year it was. And there was a certain player by the name of Luka Doncic, who, of course, is from overseas. And the Mavs had, I think, at that time, the fifth selection in the draft order. And Atlanta had the other pick. So they swapped. And instead of Dallas picking Trey Young, like everybody around here, well, I shouldn't say everybody, but like most people, and in particular, this one dude who I'm about to talk about, wanted the Mavs to pick up Trey Young. They went and got Luka Doncic at the time, and I wish I had the sounder, but this dude said picking Luka Doncic, the Mavs picking Luka Doncic was an entire mistake. They're gonna regret this. They're gonna in 5 years he's not gonna even be in the league. Yada 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 yada. Whatever the case may be. Now Luka Doncic is a bona fide superstar, one of the top 7 players in the NBA, a viable MVP candidate, and that person was none other than Charles Boyd, who is usually on point. But with this, dog, you were way off point. So I thought I would throw that in there because every time we do a show together, every time we see each other, I have to give him his stuff about that. So that is just one of so many terrific memories I have as being part of the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Okay, so let's talk about some All Star Home Run Derby, the brackets. Now, okay, let's do this first. Let's give a shout out to Major League Baseball and commissioner if you want to. I know some people don't care for him, but with this, I think they did the right thing. Rob Manfred called Albert Pujols of the St. Louis Cardinals from the National League and Miggy, can't you see Miguel Cabrera from the American League and said, yo, you dudes need to come and be a part of this. So what did they do? They went and became a part of it. But Albert Pujols took it to another level. He actually got into the home run derby and was the eighth seed. And he actually pulled a who was it? Not Virginia or Florida Gulf Coast. Whoever the team that it was, I think it was Richmond that beat Virginia in the NCAA tournament a few years ago, thus making it the first number one seed to ever lose to a 16 seed. Albert Pujols went into this as the number 8 seed overall, or the number 8 seed in this home run derby tournament. And he went up against Kyle Schwarber, the number 1 seed. Kyle Schwarber's been raking home runs like nobody's business for the last 2-3 years. Remember, it was last year or maybe the year before that when he had like 50 home runs in 50 straight games or something ridiculous like that. But he goes out there and he defeats Kyle Schwarber in the first round, 20-19. So naturally, this is likely going to be Albert's last year. This is his 22nd year in the league. He's been with the Cardinals and then went to the Angels and then went to the Dodgers and then went back to the Cardinals. And that's, of course, where he is now. So there's a sentimental rooting for, if you will, for Fat Albert. So on the same side of the bracket, Juan Soto, who won the whole thing, defeats Jose Ramirez, the Cleveland Guardians Jose Ramirez, by 1. Switch it over to the other bracket, and you have Ronald Acuna Jr., who I really don't understand. Well, I can't understand because he can rake too. But he was going up against not the one-time, but the 2-time defending champion, Pete Alonso, who I'm not going to say I thought he would win it again. I was kind of hoping that he would, simply because we've never seen it happen before. So he gets defeated by Ronald Acuna Jr. 20-19. Corey Seager, Texas Rangers' own Corey Seager. I don't know how he got to be the 3rd seed, but okay. Against Jay Rodriguez from the Seattle Mariners, who's going to win the MVP, or I'm sorry, the AL Rookie of the Year for the Seattle Mariners. This dude put on a show. He absolutely put on a show as he beat Corey Seager 32-24. So that was the most home runs in any single round of this tournament. So you fast forward to the second round. Albert Pujols is there, and Juan Soto is waiting. Of course, Albert Pujols is getting all of the applause. He's getting all of the fanfare. He did play in Los Angeles, like I just previously mentioned, just last year, or I want to say maybe just last year, or maybe 2 years ago. But Juan Soto, the young bull, the 23-year-old, he puts out the vet. Now, let me tell you about numbers and how I am as a numbers guy. And my wife likes to tell me that I have Asperger's, and I don't know if she's joking or if because that ain't nothing to joke about. But I did like this little test, and I do have a touch of it. So let me tell you about numbers. Juan Soto is 23 years old. Albert Pujols has been in the majors for 22 years. Juan Soto is 1 year older than the entire amount of time that Albert Pujols has been in the league. And he beat him by 1 home run in the second round. Okay, so let's move over to the other side of the bracket. Jay Rodriguez, he defeats the defending champion, 2-time defending champion, Pete Alonso, 31-23. It kind of was a blowout. I mean, it's kind of like UNLV after they destroyed Duke the year prior, and then they come back next year and get throttled by Duke. That's kind of what that was. So you have J-Rod, who obviously is one of the underdogs, and then you have Juan Soto going off to the final. So you have the 4 seed in Soto against J-Rod, the 6 seed. And again, it's the power of 1 as Juan Soto, the youngest player to ever win the home run derby, does so by defeating J-Rod. I don't care what y'all say. J-Rod, even though he lost, it seems like to me, with these last few derbies anyway, that the person that lost is the one that put on the best show. Trevor Story lost last year. He put on a great show, but Alonso did put on a great show too. The year before that, Alonso put on a great show. But Kyle Schwarber also, I think it was that particular Derby, he also put on a great show. But congratulations to Juan Soto. And I got something funny about Juan Soto here in just a second for winning the home run derby. And I was talking to Ken Hill, the dopest barber on the planet, my barber, and we were really just proud and happy for our dude Jose Trevino. But he and I were talking about how Juan Soto is like the greatest or the best hitter in this generation. I said, you know what, dude? That dude stay healthy. He's going to go down as the best hitter of this generation, which is going to make him one of the best of all time at only the age of 23. That's ridiculous. And speaking of Soto, two things. He turned down a 15-year, whatever, 400 and whatever $million was the contract to return or to stay in DC. And I can tell you right now, I don't blame him one bit. I don't blame him one bit. And this is something else that Ken and I talked about. I don't think it was the amount of money. I think it was the amount of years. Because if I'm Juan Soto, or better yet, if I'm that age, okay, and I'm basically a superstar and one of the best professionals in my field or in my sport, I'm not really thinking about, 36, 37, 38 years old, not at 23. I'm not thinking about at that time. I know I've already made a good deal of money. I know the offer is on the table for me to make bukus more money, and that's cool. But I'm not thinking about a 15-year deal to stay in DC when if I keep doing what I'm doing, I know that just based on what the Nationals have already put out there for me, I already know that somebody else is going to back the truck up. They're going to back the truck up. So I'm not going to just take, and you don't take the first offer anyway. Doesn't matter how good you may perceive it to be, because just because you may think it's a great offer and it's their first offer, that means there's way more behind it. But this dude has the opportunity to go. He's already won. He's already won a championship at the age of 21 with the Nationals 2 years ago. He just won his home run derby. All right. He's gonna be in the running for MVPs in the future. But and the money's gonna come because of who he is and how he plays and how humble he is, and the fact that he may be a 23-year-old young man, but he's far more mature than that for his age. So he's gonna have an opportunity to go to either Chicago, Los Angeles, either one of the two teams, New York, one of the two teams in New York, Houston even. Houston is a big market. Maybe even, I don't know, the Giants. I heard he was linked to the Giants as they were chattering about it during the All-Star festivities the other day. So the point is that if the Nationals are offering 15 over or 440 or whatever it was over 15, he may be able to get 440 from somebody over 11 or 12, and would be and still in the prime or just coming off his prime rather at that particular age. So congratulations, man, to Juan for winning that. And then what else is funny about that whole thing during the actual game? The Dodger fans were, of course, he was playing in left field, and the Dodger fans were chanting, "Future Dodger, Future Dodger." And I just thought that was so funny. And he looked back at him, and gave him a little grin. And that just made them roar that much more. And I promise I am not a rapper, nor do I play one on TV, or do I play one streaming. So that is what that is. And who knows? I mean, like I said, they're going to back the truck up for Juan Soto. All right, a couple other stories before we actually get to the game from All-Star Weekend, or I keep saying weekend. It's like NBA All-Star Weekend because it's during the weekend. But a couple other stories that I want to note. Of course, I've already touched on two of them with Cabrera and Pujols. But how about the fact that Clayton Kershaw, all of his all of his accomplishments, everything that he has done, all of his individual awards, the World Series champion that he now is. How about that? This was the first time he's ever started an All Star game, and not only that, he did it on his home park or in his home park. And then the other part of the story is that his LA baseball superstar counterpart from down the five, a few miles, Shohei Ohtani, and him both started the All Star game. I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm thinking, okay, get out of here. I'm thinking that that's the first time that's ever been done, where you have two starting pitchers that play in the same city that are starting the game in the city that they play in. I'm pretty sure that's never happened before. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool the way, and this is what also Ken and I talked about. I thought it was really, really cool the way that they had the stars mic'd up. In this case, what we paid attention to, of course, was Jose and Cortez, the battery mates for the Yankees, and how they were able to talk us through what they were thinking, making us feel like we were really, really there. I thought that was real dope. And even when, like Travis Darnold or whoever else it was that came up to the plate, and Jose was behind the dish, and you could hear him saying, "Hey man, congratulations, congratulations." I thought that was pretty cool because it gives a real feel, a real person feel to the game. And not only that, you could hear Jose when he walked up to the dish for the first time. He said himself, "Oh wow, I can't believe I'm playing an All-Star game." I just think Major League Baseball, I don't know if it's an MLB thing or if it's a network thing. Because if it's just a network thing and they've got that cornered, then they need to allow that to be shared with other networks. But if it's an MLB thing, that needs to happen way more frequent with way more frequency than it does. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen at all, but it needs to happen way more than it does. Simply because, man, you can really hear in real time what these players are thinking, especially when they're doing something for the first time ever. I think it would be dope to have that in the World Series. For real, for real. So when you think about it from that standpoint, and we were talking about and kind of gauging or comparing, baseball and football, because football, yeah, they do have it mic'd up, but it's so edited that they can't do it live. This is real time what Major League Baseball was doing, and we were talking about different things about how they could tell people, "Hey, you're mic'd up, speak up, but be quiet." And all it's just saying is, "Yo, you're mic'd up. This is a family show. Remember, you're doing this for the fans and not necessarily for your own ego," which I think baseball players, particularly from this past episode or this past game, a lot of them was just so freaking humble. It was unbelievable. All right, speaking of unbelievable, that's the end. That's the end of the second segment, man. We got to come on back on the other side of the break. We're going to get to some more of this. We're going to talk about the look ahead. Hopefully, I may not get to the power rankings, but I'm going to definitely try. Big day. Dopest engineering game, big day. Baseball fans all over the planet. Willie Epstein Jr., y'all coming back and holler at us.